YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. Back again with another draft rebuild. Yesterday we did a Michael Porter Jr. Nuggets rebuild, and today we're going to be doing a Luka Doncic Mavericks rebuild, and then we'll most likely be doing a Trae Young Hawks rebuild. So if you guys are continuing to enjoy these, make sure to leave a like, and I will keep doing them until we have some other news to cover. So other than that, I thank you guys for tuning in, and honestly the Mavericks, I think got one of the best players in the draft here, and Luka Doncic. So definitely a great move on their part. Wesley Matthews, I fully accept. I think he already has accepted his player option. So Wesley Matthews will be on this team for one more year, unfortunately. Finney Smith, I could see them bringing him back potentially, but I'm probably going to let Maxi Kleber and Kyle Collinsworth just walk for the sake of this video. But other than that, qualifying offers, Dougie McDermott, Dougie McBuckets, probably won't be offering that, and Yogi Ferrell could be a nice guard off the bench still. So a backcourt of Luka Doncic and Dennis Smith Jr. How will that look in the future? I think it's going to look good, honestly. Harrison Barnes is still a big possibility as well. He's still a big contributor to this team. He actually has a player option after this year, which I could honestly see him opting into. So other than that, this Dallas Mavericks team is trending in the right direction. Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic backcourt will be awesome to watch, I think. It's going to be very entertaining. But other than that, as far as contract situations go, we got about $4 million in cap space, minus cap holds, which there aren't too many. So we don't have a ton of cap space to our name. But honestly, the big thing is I want a center. That's what the Mavericks really need right now, is a blocking center. A guy that can go out there and get rebounds and block. Like, that's all they really need right now for just for the way their team is right now. That would honestly complete a starting five for their team. They don't really have a decent center right now, and we have about $23 million in cap space to get one. So I think we should be able to sign at least one. Hopefully, Dennis Smith Jr., JJ Barrett will be the backup. Wesley Matthews will be the backup for Doncic, Finney Smith, and then yeah. So we got that figured out pretty much. So basically, this team is complete other than a center for now. Who we could get, I have no idea. DeAndre Jordan wants way too much money, actually. We can still bring back Seth Curry if you want to, which is a possibility. Like, I wouldn't mind bringing him back for the minimum. He's declined the offer. What about a 1 year? Okay, we'll do that. And then as far as centers go, we got Enes Kanter. We got DeAndre Jordan, who would ideally, I think the Mavericks could want a guy like DeAndre Jordan, but Clint Capella would be the ideal situation as far as shot blocker and rebounder goes. There's Yusuf Nurkic, Brook Lopez, Greg Monroe, Zaza Pachulia. Alex Len, I think, is another interesting option. Dwight Howard set to be a free agent. I could see them maybe going for him, but obviously he's not a free agent right now because that trade or that buyout isn't official yet, I believe, and it won't be official till July 6th, so I can't get him quite yet. DeMarcus Cousins, well, we've already used all of our offers, so of course, if I can get Clint Capella, I will, and we'll see if we can get him. And Rockets decided to match your offer, which I fully expected to happen, so not too upset about that. About that, 3 years, $2.25 million for Yogi Ferrell, but a center for this year, just at least a decent center. I mean, Alex Len, or we could make a move where we trade Harrison Barnes for Hassan Whiteside. They could do whatever they want, but I'm just going to go ahead and get a free agent center this year, just a decent one at least. Alex Len on a 1 year deal. They could still go after Julius Randle, which I could see happening as well, because the Mavericks have shown interest in him. So I mean, maybe for Dirk's replacement in the future, Julius Randle possibly. So we got a Alex Len signing. Yogi Ferrell, we'll go ahead and agree to him, and I think that's about it. And the Lakers decided to match the offer for Julius Randle, so we don't get Julius Randle. But other than that, guys, I think as far as this first free agency goes, it didn't really we didn't do really too much. But I don't know, there wasn't a whole lot to do in the first place. Like I said, we got some guys that we'll be happy with, but I'm gonna move Wesley Matthews to the 3. That way he can play defense over at the 3. And then yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this team is looking. So just for this season, I think we have a nice team. But player progression, Dirk Nowitzki goes down 1. Of course, that was expected to happen. JJ Barrett goes down 2, which was also expected to happen. But it's all good. Basically, we're just going to develop Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic, which is basically what the Mavericks should be focusing on for the future. So unofficial 2019 NBA draft, training camps, untapped potential. Let's throw this both at Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic, because I don't have anyone else I really feel like throwing this at. I guess Jalen Brunson, and I have an alarm on. Let's ignore that real quick, and I'll go ahead and see you guys at the rotation. So not really too bad of a team for this first season. Like I said, we're really focused on Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic's development this season. You still got Harrison Barnes, who's a nice contributor to the team as well. You still have Dirk Nowitzki, who is going to help mentor Luka Doncic, which that's going to be great. I think that's just a match made in heaven there. Alex Lynn will, get those blocks I hope he can get. I don't know. He's just a one-year rental for now, I guess. Seth Curry, 77 overall. Wesley Matthews, yeah. So we basically got a decent bench, which I'm very happy with. So let's just go ahead, see how it goes. I fully expect that we won't be in the playoffs. Like I said, really just focused on Luka Doncic and Dennis Smith Jr.'s development. DeAndre Ayton wins Rookie of the Year, which is not really a surprise, but if you were to guess who's going to win Rookie of the Year, and by the way, guys, I know I really shouldn't be saying this, but Luka Doncic was one player, obviously, that was drafted, but did you guys see his mom? Man, I thought that was his girlfriend. Like, I legit thought that was his girlfriend. They walked out, and nope, surely enough, it was his mom, which is kind of insane, but you know what? I won't go too far into detail about that. I just wanted to say something. Anyway, Luka Doncic led the way with 20 points, which I'm very happy to see, with 6 assists. Dennis Smith Jr. would love to see him average 20 with Luka Doncic as well, but just didn't happen this season. We're the worst team in the NBA, which is what I kind of expected to happen. So it's all right. But the Indiana Pacers and Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Finals. And looks like the Golden State Warriors win the championship in 7. All right, not a surprise there. But as far as player retirement goes, Dirk Nowitzki does retire, and I cannot override his decision anymore. So Dirk Nowitzki will finally be retiring on the Dallas Mavericks. What a career, man. What a career. So it is now the post Dirk Nowitzki era for the Dallas Mavericks, I believe. And great night, our main 41 jersey retired, never to be used again, which is exactly what needs to happen. And we are projected to get the #1 pick, and surely enough, we get all the way down to the 4th pick, which is awesome. All right, head coach. I guess, what's his name? What's Rick Carlisle. I was like, what's the Mavericks coach's name? I bet he might have retired too. So, all right, Vince Carter is a assistant coach out here. I might just grab Bill Booth or something. I mean, we could get Terry Stotts potentially. Michael Stauffer, I guess. We could go that route. Let's go get Michael Stauffer. Tentative. Rejected. Wow. What a loser. All right. Tony Peterson, Frank Vogel. Larry Drew. Do you want to come? You're the assistant coach on the Cavaliers, but I would love to have you. Larry Drew. And we get blocked. All right. So we can't hire him. We are literally just striking out. What about John Smith? He's an assistant coach on the Wizards. Bill Booth, potentially, maybe. I don't know. Accepted. Now let's get John Smith and decline Bill Booth. All right, so get a head coach, which is cool. All right, now we get the 4th pick in the NBA draft. Now, as you guys know, I say it almost every video. I hate this year's draft class. It's not very good. It's just really not that great. So, and the only player worth getting, I mean, Zion Williamson is good and all. But the only player worth getting in this draft class is RJ Barrett. There's Cameron Reddish as well, and then there's I forget the other one, Merrill Langford as well. So I mean, I could go out and draft them, I guess, potentially, but I think they might be taken already, and we need a center. So if I can package possibly Harrison Barnes in the 4th pick, what could I potentially get for that? I decided to pick in the NBA draft, and we get Zion Williamson. All right, I can live with that. I can live with that. That would be fine. So that's fine. I'm not gonna complain too much about that. Jalen Brunson could potentially be our backup point guard this upcoming season. So I mean, can't complain about that either. And then we're gonna have a lot of centers to go after in this draft class, which is or in this free agency class, which is why I decided to go the route of just going ahead and re-signing. We could potentially keep Harrison Barnes. I'm not quite sure about it yet, though. I'm going to go ahead and renounce all of these guys. Don't want to bring any of these guys back, to be honest. So let's just go ahead. See how much cap space we have. 55 mil in cap space. So we have plenty of cap room to sign a center. Plenty of cap room. So, and maybe even more after that. So, we're going to try our best to get one. So, let's go ahead and see what's out there. So, we got Karl-Anthony Towns, who is a restricted free agent. We have Hassan Whiteside. We have Jonas Valanciunas, Dwight Howard, Nikola Vucevic, and Alex Len. So, not as much as I thought there would be, but there's still quite a bit of centers to choose from. I think Hassan Whiteside could be nice, maybe for 2 seasons. So, let's go Hassan Whiteside. Dwight Howard is another interesting one, possibly. So let's go ahead and offer him one, just because we need a presence. All we need, this team really needs, is they need more, but an inside presence and a rebounder, which is what I want. Karl-Anthony Towns, of course. I mean, why not? I'll go ahead and offer him a contract. So we get all of them. Now, obviously, I want Karl-Anthony Towns, but I fully expect the Minnesota Timberwolves to match. So realistically, I think Hassan Whiteside makes the most sense. Like I said, I really want Karl-Anthony Towns, and if they don't decide to match, yes, they match. All right, so we get Hassan Whiteside, which you can't complain too much about that. So Hassan Whiteside, welcome to the Dallas Mavericks. Now, as far as everything else goes, we still could use a power forward, although I still have the possibility of trading Harrison Barnes because he's on a 1-year deal, and then Zion Williamson is now here, who could possibly play the 3 for us, maybe come off, or you can come off the bench. So I could do that route. Dwight Powell, I really don't want to start, so maybe a stretch big is in order. Maybe Nikola Mirotic would fit right in. Thaddeus Young would be an interesting one as well. Mirotic, though, I think could make the most sense. So 16.75 for $3 million. Let's see if he accepts that. He does not, so he goes back to the Pelicans. I'm gonna cut that out. I needed to sneeze. I just couldn't find the time to tell you guys I needed to sneeze. Frank Kaminsky is still available, which is another interesting one. Markieff Morris could be an interesting power forward to play on this team for 2 seasons, maybe. As far as best available, Paul George. Obviously, I don't think he would come to this team. Vucevic, Zach LaVine, Collison, Malcolm Brogdon, Bobby Portis. Markieff Morris could come out here and stretch the floor for us. He can play the power forward. Brogdon, as far as everything else goes, we got Dennis Smith Jr., we got Yogi Ferrell, who, since Seth Curry is gone, could play the shooting guard. Since Jalen Brunson could play the backup point guard role. Harrison Barnes, Zion Williamson could come off the bench. Markieff Morris, Dwight Powell. Okay, so as far as we still have 19 million cap space, so we can still get ourselves a decent player. Now, who I want it to be, I have no idea. Let me explore the options one more time for a Harrison Barnes deal, just because I think it's a possibility the Mavericks could trade him in the future. We could get Zaire Smith, Chris Middleton, Chris Dunn, Chris Middleton. Oh man, that's tempting. Although I just don't think it. I don't think it would happen. I don't know. I just can't see that happening. Gallinari, Buddy Hield, Kevin Knox, who got booed by the Knicks fans once again, which is, since he got booed, I bet he'll be really good. So we'll just have to see. Clint Capella, maybe. No, that wouldn't make sense. Steven Adams, Wiggins, Andrew Wiggins. Now, this one's an interesting one, just because I think that it does make sense in the sense that this team is really young. This Mavericks team is really young, and the Timberwolves are a win-now team. So this trade makes sense for 2 reasons. The Mavericks get a guy in Andrew Wiggins who still needs some development, and the Mavericks have a good development system. And Wiggins could be the young guy that fits the timeline with Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic. He's a little bit older, but he's not as old as Harrison Barnes. And then the Timberwolves dump Wiggins' contract onto us. And so I think this is a win-win. So yes, Wiggins is garbage, but maybe a fresh start would actually help Andrew Wiggins. So you know what? I'm not too upset with that. And we still have about 14 million cap space to get ourselves a decent backup center, which I'll look at. I'm not sure if there's any available. Vucevic, all right. Alex Len, we could bring him back. Nerlens Noel, JaVale McGee. No, let's just leave it. Leave it the way it is. So as far as player progression goes, we got Hassan Whiteside up 1, Luka Doncic, Andrew Wiggins up 4, Dennis Smith Jr. up 4, Zion Williamson, Markieff Morris. So this team is starting to progress very well. I think this team is trending in the right direction. I think if they trade Harrison Barnes in the future, it could help them out as far as maybe adding another kind of guy that would help the team right away, or would fit the timeline of the team. What I should say, reason why I only signed Hassan Whiteside to a 2-year deal, because he's 30 years old. Also doesn't really fit the timeline of the team, but you know, he'll help the team right away. So potentially a competing team plus a team that's trying to rebuild as well. So let's see how it's looking. So we got Dennis Smith Jr., Luka Doncic, Andrew Wiggins, Dwight Powell is starting, Hassan Whiteside, Zion Williamson, Markieff Morris, Royce O'Neal. So let's round up the rotation from the 9-man, and let's have Markieff start over Dwight Powell, just because I think Markieff will stretch the floor a little bit better than Dwight Powell would. So, you know what? I can't complain too much about this. I think this is a playoff team. Yeah, I really do believe this is a playoff team. So, let's see how this team does, and I think we should be in the playoffs. Maybe bottom seed team, I don't know, but this team is trending in the right direction. Barely missed the playoffs in our second season, which is fine. It's all right. I wish we would have made it. Luka Doncic still led the way. Dennis Smith Jr., Andrew Wiggins. So, like I said, the Mavericks are trending in the right direction, which is what you want to see. Now, this team has a nice core. It's going to look good in the future. Of course, Luka Doncic and Dennis Smith Jr. is something we should all be looking forward to this upcoming season. But unfortunately for this video, they did not make the playoffs once, which is what you're going to kind of continue to see in these lottery rebuilds, because these teams aren't quite ready to make the playoffs. We have no idea how these rookies are going to impact their teams. I could potentially see Luka Doncic leading them to the playoffs, maybe, if he's that kind of guy like a Donovan Mitchell kind of did. I don't know. We'll see. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you haven't already. But this is Crushables, and I'm saying peace.